Welcome back, foodies, to another episode of What's Cooking. It's of course your lovely host Patricia Kutsia, and we are here at Kitchen 82 to make some nachos. So before we head over, there are some big news that I want to share with you guys. This is a bittersweet episode for me, but you'll have to stick around if you want to find out what the news is. In the kitchen today, we have a very special guest. So do not go anywhere. But before that, we just want to thank Kitchen 82 for giving us this lovely space so that we can show you guys how to make some nachos. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Hallo kykers, my naam is Zoe Karsten en ek wil julle 'n bietjie vertel van Blitsfokus. Blitsfokus is 'n weeklikse Afrikaanse program waar ek elke week met 'n nuwe gas gesels oor 'n kultuur of sportprestasie en selfs baie keer iemand spesiaal. En dan gaan ek saam met my MyZone kollegas bietjie gesels oor ons nuus en alles wat in ons jong menslewens aangaan. En moenie vergeet nie, op Blitsfokus gesels ek oor nuwe Afrikaanse boeke en liedjies wat vrygestel word, en gesels bietjie oor die akteurs en kunstenaars agter die werk. En ek kry julle dan elke Woensdag op DStv kanaal 285 en GoTV kanaal 25. Blitsfokus. Ek sien julle vir die volgende episode.
Welcome back, foodies. I'm so happy you guys sticked around to meet our guest for today. She's a very, very special guest, but I won't tell you what makes her so special just yet. And as I mentioned, we're going to make some nachos. We've never made nachos before, so I am really excited. So for our guest today, she's a new face, but you guys will get to know her. So I would like to welcome to Kitchen 82 the lovely Abigail.
Hello. Hi guys.
Hi Abigail, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Are you excited to be on What's Cooking today to make us some nachos?
So excited.
So tell me, why did you decide to make nachos? Why pick nachos?
Yes. Apart from the fact that I really love nachos,
Okay.
my friends and I have this tradition where we often have nachos. We would always gather and like one person brings the chips or the Doritos, one person brings, all the ingredients.
Yeah, and then you make it together.
And we just do it together, and we'd always mix up all sorts of nonsense we shouldn't be doing.
But like the kitchen is for experimenting, so it's technically not nonsense. If it's edible, it's not nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Abigail, our viewers, of course, they don't know you. It's your first time on What's Cooking.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a short bio of who you are so that they can just get to know who Abigail is on the surface?
Okay. So Abigail is someone who's passionate about content creation, storytelling. I love storytelling.
Okay.
I'm an aspiring director, producer, and production manager.
Oh.
That would be what I focus on. Project management, that sort of stuff. But outside of that, I love to paint, I love to knit, spend time with my friends hiking. They always leave me behind. I go for vibes, I go for the nature.
You're just there for the good pictures.
Yeah,
That's about it.
true. And they go
Sounds
up.
like me.
Right.
Like, I'll go because then I can wear the cute outfit I was thinking about all night. And then I can take that picture, just to show that I was there.
Exactly.
But I'm not actually going to finish the hike, guys. You can find me here when you're done upstairs.
Exactly. And I take my friends' photos from up there, like, hashtag, like,
Yeah,
look at my
so you're
eyes.
that girl. Yeah, we all, I think all girls at some point have been that girl, but for some of us, like myself, I've just been that girl. It's not like it was I've just been that girl.
Yeah.
Well, Abigail, my guests and my viewers already know that you are in charge here. I am simply here to help you with what you need. So I'm going to go with however you feel nachos are supposed to be made. and just do what you tell me to do.
Yeah.
But fair warning, I do not have a gentle hand, a graceful hand. So if I need to pour any spices, it's going to be horrific. But I will still do it if you need me to.
No problem. You are so pretty. Don't worry, you'll decorate the whole process. But I've watched so many episodes, and what are you talking about? You're really good. It's just with the dough. There's something interesting that happens when she's busy with dough.
Yeah, me and dough have like a very strange, complicated relationship. We won't get into that now. But Abigail, what are we going to do first?
Yes, I've been so excited waiting for this moment all day long. So what we're going to start with is just chopping up these onion, tomato, green pepper, and we'll also grate the cheese. We have mozzarella or cheddar. Gonna be using that, just grate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to grate all of the cheese? Because this is a lot of cheese. I'm just saying.
I think we'll look at it.
I'll do half cheese. I'll do half. But nachos does have a lot of cheese. So let's do half of each, and then we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
But Abigail, while we're busy prepping, I'd like to
start off with chopping the onions, etc. Yes. What
content creation, being a producer, was this always the plan, or was this something that just introduced itself in your life at like a certain point?
Oh my goodness, this story, ne? Sure, that's a very good question, because I feel like I stumbled into it. But I think ideally I wanted to study architecture. I love to sketch and design things. I've always enjoyed interior design, all of that. So yeah, I wanted to pursue that, but there was a change in that. I was like, okay, I'll just pursue something else for now, because my points were not where I wanted them to be. And just life. So at some point I was like, you know what? I'm passionate about architecture, but at the same time I used to make these little skits. At the time when Vine was still a thing, I would make musicals, and those were the days. And so I used to make those little skits, and they were hilarious. I would send to my friends, my family. They loved them. They're like, Abigail, this is actually so good. I would like change. I would be a guy this time, and then I quickly, change, and I'm like a girl. And I'd do accents and all of that. It was so much fun in my room when no one would see. So
I was always cringy to do that with an audience, guys. You can see the final product, but never the process. That's, to me personally, the process is what's cringy. True. You need to be alone.
That is so true, because you're goofing around, you're being a weirdo.
Yeah.
So no, I always did it privately. I was very shy about it, but after, I was always an entertainer, let's put it that way, a little diva when I was young. In fact, now I'm more quiet. I'm a bit more shy than I was when I was young. It's interesting. So that was always a thing that came naturally to me. And then at some point, with the whole not being able to go into architecture immediately, I just decided, you know what, for now I'm going to pursue this other passion, which is content creation, and see where that goes, especially YouTube. So
okay,
that's how
it's interesting. The conversations we've had, I would never have thought that architecture crossed your mind.
Is it?
I would have never guessed architecture. But that's the beauty of it. You can't really, you don't know what's going on in a person's heart and in their mind. And that's what makes this so lovely. From architecture to content creator to future producer, who knows? Maybe the next big Namibian film is directed and produced by you.
Oh yeah.
I will be on the lookout for that, definitely.
What a dream. I would love that. Yeah.
So for our viewers who do not know, Abigail just joined the My Zone family. So are you excited about that?
I'm so excited. I feel important, guys. There's something in that.
Something about those green floors just makes you feel important.
I feel so important. I walk around like, you should see me when I get home. Oh, hi, Dad. Yeah, today at work, it was just, important people with important news, you know.
It's like when someone asks you, what did you do at work today? Just a bunch of important stuff with important people, you know, important things had to be done. Important, it's important, you know.
That's hilarious, yeah, exactly.
So Abigail, why did you decide that this is something you want to pursue? Why be a part of My Zone?
Okay, so My Zone. Okay, with My Zone, I think I really liked. Okay, I'm someone who believes in like energy, as far as like, you know, science.
Yeah.
Everything is energy, and the way that I think every time I'd come across My Zone content, or I'd come across the people, I always just felt like, I don't know, I like these people.
Yeah.
I like these people. They have such a good vibe. Everything feels like home. I just feel like I get them. And I loved also how you guys incorporated a lot of, a nice mix of like, okay, it's newspaper print, and then it's also content creation. It's also, that's my personality. I'm very multifaceted. I enjoy
a lot of things, and you
things.
like bringing them all together.
That's right.
That's actually a beautiful reason to join. Yes, My Zone is very diverse. We do everything and anything you can think of. We have tried it, we've done it, we've been doing it, so it's quite diverse. And I think if you do describe yourself and see yourself as someone who multifaceted, like you said, then this is the place for you. And I do hope that you grow. But for our viewers, I forgot to mention something. You're probably wondering why we're not in our usual Kitchen 82 attire. Don't worry. We still got these from Kitchen 82. We just wanted to make this episode just a little special, seeing as we're entering the month of March. And this is when we celebrate Independence Day on the 21st. So we thought we'd go a bit traditional to introduce the month of March. But guys, I still have a lot of grading to do, and Abigail has only touched the surface of chopping up all of our veggies. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back when we're done with all of this. But we will tell you everything we did off screen. Don't worry. So don't move. We will be right back. Hi my foodies, so we chopped everything, we grated everything, and now we come to the fun part. We're going to make our mince that our head chef will do, and then I was tasked with packing the chips so long. So this is a fun part. This is where things get a bit messy and creative and fun. As you can see, our guest is very about the way things look, and I love that. So everything, all the spices were thrown into these cute little, how would you call this?
That's a good question.
Baki? It's not a baki. Baki is
I forgot what
plastic.
they're called. There's a word for them.
This tiny bowl. Just this tiny bowl.
Aesthetic bowl.
Aesthetic bowl that
too.
we found here at Kitchen 82 that we're going to use.
Very nice things.
I'm going to let you direct the process. What is the step-by-step process starting now?
Okay, go. So, I'm kidding. Okay, so right now I'm gonna fry the beef first, this mince, and then just, throw in the onions, fry that, prep that while you just lay the Doritos
Is
on
there
the
a
pan.
specific way you want me to lay out these Doritos?
No.
Just cover
any way you
all the
want,
surfaces.
as messy as you want.
Just cover all the surfaces.
Yeah,
If
as long as it's leveled.
I just like to warn people that if I do sneak a chip in, just ignore it. It's Doritos. I'm not going to just pretend like I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
So, great. Can I have a packet
Yes.
so that I can start Even blue Doritos, my favorite.
I know, right? We had to make sure it was the blue ones, the original ones. Because classic.
I'm just going to throw them on here until the whole surface is covered.
Yeah.
I feel like making Doritos is like a child's dream because you just mess around with food.
Yeah, that is true. Just playtime. I mean, that's what my friends and I would enjoy the most. It's exactly the messing. Everywhere would be a mess, and afterwards we'd clean up together.
That's
Really
the one
fun.
part I don't like, is the cleaning up. But we have to clean up, guys. We're not going to leave things in a mess. We're going to leave it the way we found it.
That's true.
Great.
That is true. But I'm curious, Patricia, how often do you cook at home?
The tables have
Outside
turned.
of what's cooking?
The tables have turned, guys. She's interviewing me now.
I need to know, because I'm always watching Patricia, and I'm curious, you know, what she would actually, if there was an episode of What's Cooking, what you would cook. I'm always curious about
What
that.
I would have cooked. That's an interesting question. There were actually a few times where my guests were not sure what to cook, and then I would give them an example. So what I would cook, it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
There were actually moments where my guests had no idea what they wanted to make, and then I had to come up with something, and I'd always do something easy like a lasagna, or just like sticky chicken.
Love lasagna.
So if I were the guest and I were to make something, obviously I'm not going to remake lasagna, but that's one of the things that I love making, and I'm really good at it. Another suggestion I've made was chocolate chip banana bread. I make really good banana bread, if I have to say so myself.
Delicious.
But something that I did try recently that I saw my aunt make, I still need to make it myself. And what better place than to try it on What's Cooking?
Yeah.
She made sweet and sour honey glazed pork
Oh my goodness.
for Christmas last year, and it was delicious.
I've never heard of anything like that
It is
in my
great.
life. Honey glaze, you have to say that again. Honey
It's
glaze,
sweet and
something-
sour honey glazed pork.
Yeah.
So it's even like with the seeds on it, so it's like crispy, and then she puts like, what do you call it? I want to say sesame seeds, but I don't know if it is. Just a warning, this thing is very, it's very strong. It's
Yeah.
very hot. So we usually do like
Heats up
2 or
quick.
3 units. Hi foodies, so we are at my favorite part of every single show where we get to eat, okay? Look at how beautiful these nachos turned out.
So good.
They look so good. I will probably, if I was not on television, I would have eaten this already, like all of it by myself. I'm not ashamed to say that. I say that with a full chest. I would have eaten all of this
The whole
alone
platter.
by myself. I would do it. But Abigail, before we dig in, can you explain to our viewers how exactly we got to this final, beautiful, delicious looking product?
This beautiful, beautiful work of art. Yeah, that was quick. That was actually quite quick. I'm proud of us because it's giving quick snack vibes, right?
It is.
Because we want those, the easy ones. So yes, we laid out the Doritos, and then we just sprinkled the onion, tomato, green pepper all over. Just put the mince on there that we made, and with lots of garlic. I love
You
garlic.
can never go wrong with garlic. I always believe that you can never have too much garlic in your food.
That is true. That is true.
Never.
So then we just put the cheese on top. Very simple. Popped it in the oven. How many minutes was that?
I think it was less than 5 minutes, honestly.
Very
it was
quick.
So once the cheese is melted, you're basically done.
Yeah.
All you're waiting for is for the cheese to melt.
Exactly.
Are you ready for the moment of truth?
I'm
Okay.
so
I
so
don't
excited,
know where
but
to
I want
start.
you to taste first.
I don't know where to start, like, because I want a piece that
Yeah.
like has everything. No, right there is another nice-ish piece. Guys, please don't judge me the way I am trying my best here. Oh, it's actually good.
Look at that. Oh.
I feel like I'm at Rockamama's right now.
Oh yeah. She's
I
giving me a
feel
big head right now that
Like I'm at Rockamama.
that we did this.
I was about
We
to be like,
chefed
you
up.
cannot take all the credit. I assisted at some areas of this making of this.
We did this
delicious
together.
snack.
We did this together. That is so good, you guys.
So Abigail, before we eat the rest of this, we want to know who Abigail was before she found her voice, before she made that decision that we know we've heard the journey of, I wanted to do architecture, but content creation is what I ended up with, and I love it. That part we understand, we get that, and it's beautiful. But who was Abigail, younger Abigail? Were you always the shy girl at school? Were there any other career paths you were considering, like in middle school or high school, besides architecture and content creation?
Yeah, you know, guys, I had many interests. Hey, I'm one of those people. If you relate with me, you know, just comment down below if you can. If that's on YouTube or wherever, I love to watch it on YouTube, the show. But if you're like me, 1,000 interests. Every month is a new interest. You know what? I want to be an astronaut. Then the next month, you know what? I want to be
A teacher, a doctor.
a teacher, everything. But I would take up these things, and I actually really like it. But I'd be like, okay, let me just focus on this one thing. But I wanted to be, a fashion designer actually.
Okay.
And for me, that tied in with the architecture.
Yeah, because it's also a
Actually-
creative thing. You need to create things from scratch. You need to be very innovative.
Yeah.
You also have to stand out with architecture. People think that there's only so much you can do with a building. But if you look at all the architecture in the world, just how creative and innovative people have been with how the door opens, for example, or how the roof just comes together, how it looks like on the inside, on the outside, you know. So much finer details that you wouldn't really notice. But from an architectural perspective, I'm sure if you did decide to end up doing architecture, you would walk into any building and just be like, wow, this wall, and then I'd be like, it's just
It's
a
just
wall.
a wall.
It's just a wall. Like, why are we wowing the wall?
Yes.
I think in any profession, for example, if you are a fashion designer, if you were to be a fashion designer, my outfit, for example, let's say it's great. For me, it's just like, it's an outfit, like what you're wearing. It's a cute
It's an
dress.
outfit.
But then you, as a fashion designer, would be like, wow, the colors, they all just, and the shape, it fits with your neckline and your...
The neckline.
I've heard
and all
fashion
the
designers
details.
speak, and it's like they take so much into consideration before they even touch the fabric.
so
They look at your skin, they look at your height, they look at your body, they look at your personality, because fashion is a way of expressing yourself.
I didn't think about that.
So if you're a bubbly person,
That's true.
it doesn't make sense to give you an all black outfit.
Yeah.
Because that's not who you are. Fashion is a way of expressing yourself. That's actually something that I've learned from a friend of mine. Because she told me that you can see how I feel today based on how I'm dressed.
Oh my
so then I
gosh,
started to
true.
realize that some people do just genuinely love black and white.
Yeah.
But that's their personality. They love black and white.
That's true.
But for me, example, I love neutral colors a lot.
Yeah.
But there are days where I just feel like being extra, and you'll see me with a bright pink or a bright yellow, but barely.
I love it. I've seen your looks. I love how she plays, and she surprises us, eh? One day it's like this look, and then you're like, oh wow, okay, she did something different. I love it.
I made it my personal mission because my zone took in a lot of new interns this year, a lot more than what we usually do. So before you guys came in, I told Philip, which is still with us there at the office, I told him, I'm going to intimidate these new interns. My dress. I tried, you know, but
Girl.
I have only so many outfits in my closet. I tried my best, but I'm happy you guys enjoyed the little show.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even know there was a whole show going on.
Yeah, a whole
No, it
fashion
looks
show that
great.
you guys didn't even know about. But Abigail, you said that for you the end dream, or for now, because things change, you know, you're going to learn so much about yourself in My Zone, things you probably didn't even know you liked, or new things are going to be introduced to you.
Yeah.
But let's speak with what you want to happen now, which is the production management, the project management, directing, you know, producing. That is for now. I'm saying for now because I know how My Zone can change things for you. You're exposed to so much. You thought you'd come here to be a journalist.
Yeah,
and
that's
then you
true.
move on to be a marketer or an events coordinator. So
And it's exciting.
It is. It's exciting. It's scary, but it's exciting.
It's scary
you know?
and exciting.
Well, foodies, that brings us to the end of this exciting episode. I enjoyed those nachos so much, and I had fun spending time in the kitchen with Abigail. But I didn't forget that I promised you guys some big news. As I mentioned, this is a bittersweet episode for me because this is my last episode as presenter for What's Cooking. It has been an amazing journey with you guys, but with that, it's also my honor to introduce to you guys the new face, coordinator and presenter for What's Cooking. Of course, you've met her already, Miss Abigail. Come on, guys.